to check out some more reasons to stay out the water and some new discoveries they've made here recently. All right, so let's check these out.
We've sent 12 people to the moon since 1969 over a handful of missions. And yet, we've learned a lot more about the moon compared to the hundreds of explorations we've conducted in the ocean. While it's a little outdated to say that 95% of the ocean remains unexplored, it's true that we have yet to discover a good chunk of it. After all, it's no easy feat. Exploring the ocean means enduring the pressure of 50 jumbo jets and navigating a virtually dark environment where not a single ray of light can reach. It's no wonder that to this day, most, if not all, discoveries in the ocean are considered groundbreaking. From a lost continent to a hidden city, here are 20 recent ocean discoveries that could change history. Number 20. The lost continent of Zeelandia. Recently, researchers discovered a continent known as Zeelandia, a vast underwater landmass located east of Australia. This entire continent measures a staggering 1.9 million square miles, making it nearly twice the size of India. Who would have thought that this massive continent was once thought of as something imaginary? You see, scientists did a lot of investigating before they finally found this continent and deemed that it actually exists. It's through collecting advanced satellite data and rock samples that researchers finally named Zeelandia a continent.
Now that's something you don't expect to hear every day, especially this late in the stage of the Earth's existence, and at this stage of our lives, a new continent emerges. Wow.
This landmass passed several criteria before it was considered a continent. For one, its crust is thicker and less dense than the oceanic crust surrounding it. It has clear geological boundaries, separating it from the ocean floor. What's more, with its area, it comfortably fits the size requirement for a continent. If an entire continent remained hidden for so long without us knowing, who knows what else is left undiscovered? Before we go on, like this video, smash the subscribe button, and click the notification bell right now. Number 19. Greenland sharks can live over 250 years, and scientists think they might unlock the secret to longer life for humans. Greenland sharks are known for their slow growth in frigid habitats. You see, these sharks grow less than a centimeter per year, and it takes them over an entire century to reach maturity. Scientists have used radiocarbon dating on the eye lenses of these sharks to determine their age, revealing that they can live at least 272 years, with some estimates suggesting lifespans exceeding 400 years. For so long, this longevity was a mystery. Recently, however, researchers finally found out the secret behind the Greenland sharks' long lives. Research indicates that Greenland sharks have a remarkably stable metabolism. Unlike most animals, their muscle metabolic activity doesn't vary significantly with age. This metabolic consistency might be a key factor in their longevity. Scientists now hope that by understanding the growth of Greenland sharks, we'll be able to extend our own lives. However, it's not what you think it is. Scientists are exploring how the stable metabolic processes of these sharks might inform new strategies for combating age-related diseases in humans, particularly in the realm of cardiovascular health. The enzymes that remain active in these sharks, even at advanced ages, could offer clues for developing treatments that maintain heart health and overall vitality in humans. Unfortunately for us, the Greenland shark's future is uncertain. With such a long generation time, they don't reach maturity until around 150 years old, making them vulnerable and easy to succumb to changes. Number 18. A historic Bronze Age shipwreck. In the summer of 1982, a local...
Could you imagine? Yeah, I couldn't figure out a way to stop the video. I don't know how. But could you imagine a human civilization where the average lifespan in age is 150 years old? Could you imagine that? Yes, I would want to be a part of it, only if I'm still be active, alert. I'm not just a shell of myself. If I'm a shell of myself, then no. But if 150 and I could still be active and alert and respond and do things, oh, I'm for that.
Sponge diver named Mehmet stumbled upon something extraordinary off the coast of Uluburun, near Kaş in southwestern Turkey. What he found was a shipwreck dating back to the late 14th century BCE. This ship, known as the Uluburun, turned out to be one of the oldest and most affluent shipwrecks ever discovered. Measuring 49 to 52 feet long, this ship was constructed using the shell-first method, a technique involving mortise and tenon joints similar to those used in later Greek and Roman vessels. It was made from Lebanese cedar and oak, materials known for their durability. But it wasn't just the ship's construction that was remarkable. Its cargo was also groundbreaking. The ship was carrying over 20 tons of goods, including the largest collection of raw metals from the Bronze Age ever found, enough to produce around 11 tons of bronze. The copper primarily came from Cyprus, while recent studies have traced some of the tin to mines in Uzbekistan and Turkey. The ship also carried Egyptian gold scarabs, Mycenaean swords, Canaanite jewelry, and African ivory. They also found pottery, foodstuffs, and even tools for the ship's crew. Its construction and cargo make it one of the most significant shipwrecks ever discovered. Number 17. Underwater volcano covered with giant eggs. In a groundbreaking expedition led by marine biologist Dr. Charisse Dupriez from Fisheries and Oceans Canada, researchers set out to explore a seemingly dormant volcano beneath the icy waters of the Pacific. To their amazement, they found that this underwater volcano, known as a seamount, was not only active, but also spewing hot, mineral-rich fluid. What really took the team by surprise, however, was the summit of the seamount, which was littered with enormous eggs. These weren't just any eggs. They belonged to the Pacific white skate, a deep-sea species related to sharks and rays. Each egg, also known as a mermaid's purse, measured about 1.5 feet across. The seamount turned out to be a massive nursery for these creatures, with an estimated hundreds of thousands to 1 million eggs scattered across the summit. Who would have thought that such an unforgiving environment would be a place where life thrives?
It's like as soon as you get excited about the different benefits or not even benefits, different findings in the ocean that may benefit us, like longer lifespans and stuff like that, the ocean has a way of reminding you again how deadly it is. Like, oh, yeah. And we have underwater volcanoes down here too. So yeah, come on, have some fun. See, don't just take you out.
Number 16. The intriguing memory of European glass eels. For so long, it was a mystery how eels, particularly European glass eels, could navigate back to their birthplace in the Sargasso Sea. Recently, however, researchers believed that they finally found the secret. Researchers from the University of Miami Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Science discovered that these eels possess a magnetic memory, allowing them to recall and navigate water currents using Earth's magnetic field. This ability, previously known in species like sea turtles and some birds, is now confirmed in fish for the first time. As I've said earlier, European glass eels are born in the Sargasso Sea, but spend most of their lives in freshwater rivers across Europe and northern Africa. To return to their birthplace for spawning, they rely on geomagnetic cues imprinted during their early life stages. These eels can detect variations in the Earth's magnetic field and use this information to navigate complex water currents, ensuring they reach their destination. Researchers are excited about the potential to explore magnetoreception further. They aim to study other fish species to see if they share this capability. Number 15. Mysterious virus at the bottom of the Mariana Trench. Researchers in China have unearthed a mysterious new virus from the depths of the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the world's oceans. The newly discovered virus, named VBHMEY-H4907, was found at an astonishing depth of 29,199 feet inside the Mariana Trench. This makes it the deepest known virus ever identified. The virus is a bacteriophage, a type of virus that infects bacteria and uses their cellular machinery to reproduce. Now, before you get worried, let me tell you that it's not a threat to mankind. The Mariana Trench, with its crushing pressures, frigid temperatures, and complete darkness, is one of the most inhospitable places on Earth. Despite these extreme conditions, life thrives there in unexpected forms. The virus discovered by the team from China's Ocean University specifically targets bacteria from the Halomonas family, commonly found near hydrothermal vents on the ocean floor. These vents emit scalding mineral-rich water, creating a unique and challenging environment where only highly specialized organisms can survive. This discovery significantly advances our understanding of deep-sea ecosystems and the diversity of life forms that inhabit them. It also opens new avenues for studying how viruses and bacteria interact in extreme environments. Number 4.
This makes you think though. I wonder if the pressure is keeping some of those viruses at bay. Like, if something happens to where the pressure is lost down there at those depths, will that release tons of viruses up and eventually up out of the water into the atmosphere? We talk about it with ice. When the ice starts to melt, we find out about viruses that were trapped in the ice over centuries and thousands of years ago and can be released this day, modern day, this day and age, and we have to suffer and deal with it. I wonder if that's the same case with in the water under those pressures, man. Like, that's scary to think about.
14. Perfect holes found at the bottom of the ocean. Recently, scientists aboard the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer discovered a series of puzzling, perfectly aligned holes on the ocean floor, and their origins remain an enigma. The holes form straight lines and are evenly spaced, with tiny piles of sediment surrounding them, suggesting they were excavated by something. They look like something man-made, and these holes would be easily dismissed as such if only they were found in shallow waters. But the problem is that these intriguing holes were found at a depth of approximately 1.6 miles beneath the ocean surface, near the Mid-Atlantic Ridge. This area, part of the world's longest mountain range, is largely unexplored, so we still don't know much about it. Some scientists speculate that an unknown marine organism might be responsible, possibly creating the holes as part of their habitat or foraging behavior. Others suggest that natural geological processes or even escaping gases beneath the seafloor could be the cause. Yet to this day, a conclusion has yet to be reached. Number 13. The Lost City Hydrothermal Field. In recent years, researchers have discovered a lost city underwater. However, it's not an ordinary lost city. This city is composed of hydrothermal vents. This region is located on the Mid-Atlantic Ridge and is one of the most mysterious and enigmatic regions in the world's oceans. Known as the Lost City Hydrothermal Field, this region was discovered about 2,300 feet below the surface of an underwater mountain called the Atlantis Massif. Unlike typical hydrothermal vents, which are fueled by volcanic activity, the Lost City vents are driven by a process called serpentinization, a process that occurs due to a reaction between seawater and mantle rocks. The terrain of the Lost City is dominated by towering carbonite chimneys, some of which rise as high as 200 feet, making this Lost City look like something straight out of another planet. The Lost City has intrigued scientists not only because of its unique geology and chemistry, but also due to its potential implications for the origin of life on Earth and possibly other planets. The simple ingredients required for life, rock, water, and chemical energy, are abundant here. This means that it almost has a similar environment to other planets in the solar system, making it a prime candidate for studying how life might arise on other planets, such as on Jupiter's moon Europa or Saturn's moon Enceladus. Number 12. 19,000 undersea volcanoes discovered with high-resolution radar satellites. In 2023, researchers announced an unbelievable discovery: undersea volcanoes. Thousands of them. A team of oceanographers from the Scripps Institution of Oceanography, in collaboration with researchers from Chungnam National University and the University of Hawaii, used data from several radar satellites, including the European Space Agency's Cryosat-2 and the French Indian satellite Serral. Through this, researchers discovered 19,000 previously unknown undersea volcanoes, also known as seamounts, scattered across the sea floor. Now, what's the significance of these seamounts? You see, seamounts are formed by volcanic activity and can rise thousands of meters from the ocean floor. They play a crucial role in shaping ocean currents and marine ecosystems. When ocean currents hit these underwater mountains, they're forced upward, bringing nutrient-rich cold water to the surface, which supports a diverse array of marine life. Understanding the distribution and morphology of these seamounts helps scientists better understand the ocean, which might lead to more groundbreaking discoveries in the future. Number 11. A rare shark species. One of the most bizarre shark species is the megamouth shark. First discovered off the coast of Hawaii, this species has intrigued scientists for a long time. It was unexpectedly discovered when one became entangled in the cables of a U.S. Navy research vessel. This unexpected encounter revealed the previously unknown species, and since then, fewer than 100 sightings have been recorded, making it one of the rarest sharks in the world. One of the most striking features of the megamouth shark is its enormous mouth, which can measure up to 4 feet wide. This large mouth is equipped with up to 50 rows of tiny teeth in the upper jaw and 75 rows in the lower jaw, perfect for its filter-feeding lifestyle. The shark's head is large and bulbous, contributing to its distinctive appearance. They can grow up to 18 feet long and weigh around 2,679 pounds, making them one of the larger shark species. Now, the reason why we rarely see this shark species is because they're deep-sea dwellers, typically found at depths ranging from 500 to 15,000 feet. That's why, to this day, the megamouth shark remains one of the ocean's most enigmatic creatures, with much still to be learned about its behavior and ecology. Number 10. Microplastic fibers discovered in the deepest point of the ocean. Researchers from Newcastle University conducted a study examining amphipods, small shrimp-like creatures from 6 of the deepest ocean trenches, including the Mariana Trench, the deepest point on Earth. Shockingly, every single amphipod sampled from the Mariana Trench contained microplastic fibers. Across all trenches studied, 72% of the amphipods had ingested at least one piece of plastic. Microplastics are tiny plastic particles less than 5 millimeters in size. They originate from various sources, including the breakdown of larger plastic debris and the shedding of synthetic fibers from clothing during washing.
Yes, that means us, humans. We're destroying the ecosystem underwater. Yes, we are. As we naturally do, destroy things, ruin things. Yeah, take that into account, what we're doing. Hey, I may want to stay out the water. I don't want to see nothing happen to them because I know it's crucial for our survival. You know, that underwater ecosystem is crucial for us. So we gotta chill.
Washing. These particles are so small that they can travel vast distances through the ocean currents and even be carried by the wind. The ingestion of microplastics poses significant risks to marine organisms. For amphipods, consuming plastic fibers can be particularly harmful. These indigestible particles can fill up their stomachs, giving them a false sense of fullness, which can lead to starvation. Even in the deepest parts of the ocean, where sunlight never reaches, human-made debris is making its mark. This contamination not only affects the small creatures living there, but can also have ripple effects throughout the marine food web, impacting larger animals and potentially even humans through the seafood we consume. This discovery is a call to action for all of us to reduce our plastic footprint and protect our planet's precious ecosystems. Number 9. The submerged city of Dwarka. According to Hindu mythology, Dwarka was a magnificent city built by Lord Krishna on the western coast of India. It was described as a city of grand palaces, gardens, and temples, often referred to as the Golden City. The legend says that after Lord Krishna's departure from the mortal world, the city faced a catastrophic event leading to its submersion in the Arabian Sea. This event is believed to mark the beginning of the Kali Yuga, an epoch in Hindu cosmology. The quest to uncover the submerged Dwarka began in earnest in the 1930s and saw significant progress with underwater excavations conducted between 1983 and 1990 by marine archaeologist Dr. S.R. Rao and his team. These expeditions revealed a well-planned city with fortified foundations, stone blocks, pillars, and even ancient artifacts such as pottery and coins. With this, we found tangible evidence supporting the existence of an ancient city that matches the description found in historical texts. In recent years, scientists using advanced technology such as side-scan sonar and underwater cameras have mapped the underwater structures of Dwarka. These explorations have captured stunning images of submerged walls, steps, and other remnants of the ancient city. The findings have not only validated many of the historical narratives, but have also sparked a renewed interest in marine archaeology. Number 8. Scientists reveal holes in the North Sea seafloor. The North Sea, located between the UK and continental Europe, is dotted with millions of these small crater-like pits. These features were first noticed during seafloor mapping projects, but their origin remains unclear. Scientists initially speculated that they might be the result of gas eruptions, underwater landslides, or even the activities of ancient icebergs. A team of geologists from several institutions, including the University of Cambridge and the Geological Survey of Norway, conducted an extensive study using advanced sonar mapping and sediment analysis. They discovered that these pits are actually remnants of ancient methane gas explosions that occurred around 12,000 years ago at the end of the last ice age. During the last ice age, large parts of the North Sea were covered by ice sheets. As the climate warmed and the ice began to melt, methane gas trapped within the seabed sediments started to build up pressure. Eventually,
I would believe that if the holes didn't look so identical. That leads me to believe that some type of device created those holes. Like that, they're too similar, spaced apart. Like if they were different, then I'd be like, okay, cool, that's gas doing that. But that makes me think they're drilling there for some reason or something down there. I don't know, I don't like it. And it makes me extremely nervous as to what's down there or facility-wise, or they call them now USOs, unidentified submerged objects.
this pressure became too great, leading to violent methane eruptions. These eruptions blasted through the seabed, creating the craters we see today. Think about this process as something similar to how soda fizzles when you shake the bottle and then open it. Number 7. Icefish Colony. In January 2022, researchers from the Alfred Wegener Institute in Germany made an astonishing discovery while exploring the Filchner ice shelf in the southern Weddell Sea. Using a towed camera system, they found a massive breeding colony of Neopagitopsis iona, or simply icefish. This colony spans an area of approximately 93 square miles and contains about 60 million active nests, making it the largest known fish breeding area on the planet. Each nest in this vast colony consists of a shallow bowl carved into the seabed, surrounded by small stones. Typically, a nest can contain around 1,700 eggs, which an adult icefish guards. But what's so important about this discovery? Well, you see, the icefish colony plays a crucial role in the local ecosystem. The biomass of the colony is estimated at around 60,000 tons, making it a vital food source for predators like Weddell seals, which spend a significant amount of time diving within the colony's vicinity to feed on the fish. Researchers have left camera systems in place to monitor the icefish nests continuously until a research vessel returns. This ongoing observation will help scientists understand the dynamics of the breeding colony and how it interacts with its environment over time. The data collected will support efforts to establish a marine protected area under the International Convention for the Conservation of Antarctic Marine Living Resources. Number 6. The world's largest plant. If I ask you to imagine how the largest plant in the world would look, what comes to mind? I bet it's definitely not a huge patch of underwater seagrass. Yet today, this massive plant, stretching an astonishing 112 miles across the seabed of Shark Bay, is known as the largest living plant in the world. But how could this be a large plant when it's really just a collection of different individual plants? Well, you see, each and every single one of these plants is a single entity. Researchers from the University of Western Australia made this groundbreaking discovery while studying what they initially thought were multiple seagrass meadows. However, genetic testing of samples revealed that the entire area was actually one single enormous plant. This plant has grown continuously over an estimated 4,500 years by cloning itself over and over until it successfully covered a patch of 112 miles. The seagrass's ability to clone itself is quite rare in the animal kingdom, but more common among plants, fungi, and bacteria. This clonal propagation has enabled the seagrass to thrive in a range of environmental conditions that are typically challenging for other plants.
Now, you can guarantee they're definitely down there studying that. Why? What's the key word there? Clone. So oftentimes we forget about the whole cloning thing that's going on in the background because we're worried about the election or we're hearing about this, and UFOs are a little bit at the front right now. But don't forget about cloning. Keep that in the back of your mind. That's happening too in the background. So much stuff.
Luckily, this large plant has helped the local ecosystem. It provides habitat and food for a diverse range of marine species, including turtles, dolphins, dugongs, crabs, and fish. Additionally, seagrasses are vital for maintaining healthy marine environments. They help purify water, act as significant carbon sinks by capturing and storing carbon, and support biodiversity. Number 5. The historic Endurance Shipwreck. The Endurance was a British ship led by Sir Ernest Shackleton on the Imperial Transantarctic Expedition from 1914 to 1917. The goal of the expedition was quite ambitious for its time: to make the first land crossing of Antarctica from the Weddell Sea to the Ross Sea. However, the expedition faced challenges from the very beginning. In January 1915, the Endurance became trapped in the dense pack ice of the Weddell Sea. After months and months of trying to free the Endurance, the vessel itself succumbed to the ice and sank on November 12, 1915. As the Endurance succumbed to the icy grip, Shackleton and his 27-man crew were left stranded on the drifting ice floes. They had no choice but to camp on the ice for months and endure extreme conditions. When the ice began to break up, they launched lifeboats and navigated treacherous waters to reach Elephant Island. From there, Shackleton and a small team embarked on a daring 800-mile journey to South Georgia Island on a lifeboat, seeking rescue for the rest of the crew. Fortunately, the crew was rescued, but the Endurance went missing, and so, for over a century, the Endurance lay hidden beneath the thick Antarctic ice. However, in March 2022, an expedition known as Endurance 22 made a historic discovery. Using advanced underwater technology, the team located the wreck at a depth of 9,869 feet in the Weddell Sea. The ship was found astonishingly well preserved, with its name clearly visible on the stern. To this day, this discovery remains one of the most historic findings underwater. Number 4. A huge ocean underneath the Earth's surface. Earlier this year, researchers finally announced the discovery of a massive ocean beneath Earth's surface. How is this different from the ocean we know? Well, this huge supply of water is hidden underneath the Earth's crust, and it's 3 times bigger than the oceans that sit on the surface.
Maybe that's where some of these creatures we're looking for are said that are extinct are located. Megalodon, Kraken, and name some others. You know what I mean? Maybe that's where they're located. You ever thought about that?
Researchers discovered this hidden water reservoir about 400 miles beneath the Earth's surface in the mantle's transition zone, which lies between the upper and lower mantle. Now, despite being called an ocean, the water here isn't in liquid form. Rather, it's trapped within the crystal structure of ringwoodite, a mineral that acts like a sponge. This mineral can hold a significant amount of water, about 1.5% of its weight, which might not sound like much, but given the vast volume of the transition zone, it adds up to a reservoir 3 times larger than all the surface oceans combined. The discovery was made possible using seismometers to study the waves generated by earthquakes. These waves travel through the Earth's interior, revealing information about the rocks and minerals they encounter. How did this discovery change the way we understand our planet? Well, the presence of such a vast reservoir suggests the Earth's water may have originated from within, rather than being delivered solely by comets and asteroids. Number 3. 7,000-year-old ancient highway discovered at the bottom of the ocean. In 2023, archaeologists discovered an intriguing feature at the bottom of the Adriatic Sea off the coast of a Croatian island, a prehistoric highway that dates back to 7,000 years ago. This highway was discovered by archaeologists from the University of Zadar in the Bay of Gradina near the Croatian island of Korčula. The road, buried under layers of sea mud, was found approximately 16 feet underwater. It's believed to have been constructed by the Neolithic Hvar culture, which thrived in the area between 6000 BC and 3000 BC. The road itself is about 13 feet wide and made of carefully stacked stone plates. Researchers believe that this road likely served as a link between the island of Korčula and an ancient artificial landmass that was once a bustling settlement. Radiocarbon dating of wood found near the site suggests that this settlement dates back to around 4900 BC. What's intriguing is the fact that the construction of such a road demonstrates advanced engineering skills and an understanding of stone masonry far ahead of its time. Researchers are continuing to explore the site, uncovering more about the people who built this road and their way of life. This means that future research might reveal more about this intriguing 7,000-year-old highway. Number 2. The answer to the mystery of the infamous Megalodon. the mighty Megalodon. For so long, the question of whether the Megalodon still resides in our world's oceans was a mystery. Recently, scientists are convinced that they finally found the answer about the Megalodon's existence. The Megalodon roamed the oceans roughly 23 to 3.6 million years ago during the Miocene and Pliocene epochs. This colossal predator is comparable with today's sharks, but the difference lies with their insane lengths that can reach up to a staggering 60 feet, with jaws capable of exerting a bite force between 108,514 and 182,201 newtons. One of the most powerful bites ever recorded in history. No wonder it can deliver such a powerful bite with teeth that can grow over 7 inches long. Officially, the Megalodon is considered extinct. You see, these giants couldn't keep up with the changing planet. As the Earth cooled, sea levels dropped, reducing the warm, shallow coastal waters that megalodons preferred. This habitat loss likely contributed significantly to their decline. Another factor was competition from other predators, such as the great white shark, which emerged around the same time and competed for similar prey. While some continue to believe that Megalodon still roams the world's oceans, scientists are finally putting forward their final verdict. It's believed that megalodons no longer exist. Despite the allure of finding a living megalodon, scientists agree that this giant shark is long extinct. After all, if megalodons still existed, we would expect to find evidence such as recent teeth, carcasses, or sightings. However, all fossil records date back at least 3.6 million years. It's true that we're yet to explore the darkest and deepest parts of the ocean. However, there's little possibility for the megalodon to still be lurking in the abyss. One primary reason would be food. You see, a predator a megalodon's size would need a vast amount of food, primarily large marine mammals like whales. Modern ocean ecosystems would show significant impacts from such a large predator's presence, but no such evidence exists. Some speculate that megalodons might survive in deep ocean trenches. However, these environments lack sufficiently large prey to support such a giant predator, and deep sea conditions are unsuitable for a creature adapted to warmer, shallower waters. While the idea of a living megalodon is captivating and has fueled numerous movies and myths, the scientific consensus is clear. The megalodon is extinct. But hey, we all thought that the platypus was an imaginary creature at first, yet scientists themselves were proven wrong. So really, who knows? And now it's time for today's topic. Scientists say something huge is hunting great white sharks right now, and they're worried. Several years ago, researchers put a tracker on a 9-foot-long great white shark. Now, they've discovered the shark's black box on a beach. The data inside bewildered researchers. You see, it seemed like something had eaten the apex predator.
That gotta be an orca. That sounds like an orca to me. They're smart enough to kill a shark and then put the black box, not eat the black box, put it on the beach somewhere, spit it out. Like, that screams orca to me. They're just so super intelligent.
Something larger, far more monstrous. If not, then what could be the reason why a 9-foot behemoth would disappear out of the blue? The megalodon? The kraken? Giant squid? Whatever it is, it's still in the ocean, undiscovered. Number 1. Mysterious hoofprints at the bottom of the ocean floor. In 2013, researchers exploring the coast of New Zealand found something quite befuddling at the bottom of the sea floor. Hoofprints. Yes, you heard that right. They discovered hoofprints underwater. This was discovered by researchers from New Zealand's National Institute of Water and Atmospheric Research, or NIWA. They discovered the marks about 1,500 feet deep in the ocean near the underwater ridge. What's befuddling is the fact that we know no ocean creatures that could have possibly created these hoofprints. It wasn't until recently that scientists finally found out what creature was responsible for creating these holes. The culprit? A deep sea fish known as the grenadier, or rat tail. You see, this little critter has a distinctive head shape with a long snout and an extendable mouth, perfect for digging into the seafloor in search of food. Eating food for these creatures involves them biting down on the mud, leaving behind marks which, you guessed it, coincidentally look like small hoofprints. Understanding how grenadiers and other deep-sea species interact with their environment helps scientists piece together the complex puzzle of ocean ecosystems. With the depth at which these creatures live, we've never had the chance to observe them in real time. As we continue to push the boundaries of ocean exploration, we hope to observe these deep-sea creatures more without disturbing them in their natural environment. The ocean truly is a mind-boggling place, and these discoveries only show the tip of the iceberg